Hi guys, how's it going? Today's video is quite different to those that we've done in the past number of weeks. For me personally, by the way, I need to say something to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You've almost liberated my brain because of your support, because of your comments, and because of your actions with regard to that notification bill. The bell rather, not bill. For that I'm forever grateful. But one of the comments, more than any, not so much because of the content, but more so because of its repercussions, stood out for me, and I'd like to share that with you now. So let's go. A subscriber in the constituency of Duncan Smith, upon watching a video that we had done, decided to do exactly as I suggested, was write to those MPs, particularly in the marginals. Now remember, Duncan Smith has the smallest margin of success for that seat. He's only got, I think, a close to 300 seat margin. That's all. And he forwarded me a copy of that letter, and I'm grateful again for your trust. Okay? In the letter, he asked Duncan Smith, and I'm quoting him here, "Why did you stand up in the House of Commons, congratulate the Prime Minister, and say that he deserved the plaudits he's going to get as a result of the trade and cooperation agreement?" Now, he also went on to say, and again I'm quoting here, "Mr. Duncan Smith, you said in your speech in the House of Commons that the reality is, if there's anything about this arrangement that we have not debated, thrashed to death, I'd love to know what it is." Okay? You went on to vote for it, and then later claimed, just 18 months later, that the fine print of the agreement means we remain hooked into the EU's loan book. You confirmed this in your tweets, that when you said, referring to Duncan Smith, you can't be half in the EU and half out. The problem is the withdrawal agreement. That's the same withdrawal agreement that he stood up in the House of Commons. You said, Mr. Duncan Smith, it costs too much and it denies us true national independence. This withdrawal agreement, giving the EU future control over us, has to go. Now Britain faces a 160 billion fee after leaving. So the subscriber asks, why did you lie about the 160 billion? Where is your evidence? Where is your conscience? Okay, now I thought we should include that famous speech from the former leader of the Conservatives, just to remind ourselves of his treacherous tongue and skewed sense of what is right and what is wrong. And we have evidence of him being unable to distinguish between the two. And let's bear in mind, this is the same bloke that voted to curtail the time required by even his own MPs to go through the withdrawal agreement, and seconded the sanctions to remove them from the parliamentary party, his own colleagues.
I just want to make this point, that I rise to say to my right honourable friend, the Prime Minister, that I am absolutely, without question of a doubt, going to support this tonight in both votes, both in the second reading vote and, I believe, massively importantly, in the programme motion. Because we've had more than 100 hours in committee over the last 3.5 years. The reality is, if there is anything about this arrangement that we have not now debated, thrashed to death, I would love to know what it is. That for those who say that they don't have enough time in the next few days, because there are so many things to debate, of course they forget, and I see my right honourable friend sitting on the bench to my left, there was a white paper published last year that contained, I think sadly, most of the elements of the withdrawal agreement within it. And that was debated, and it has been debated in meaningful vote after meaningful vote. Many of those things have not changed. We've thrashed this out through white paper, meaningful vote, meaningful vote. Honestly, one second, I'll give my one front. Honestly, we have to ask ourselves the question, when was it this House has not debated that element to absolute destruction? I give way to my right honourable learned friend. But I recognise the overarching priority right now is therefore to deliver on the referendum and leave the European Union, and this remains the only way that we can achieve it.
Now, no doubt, rather, you saw clearly the triumphalist glee in the guy's eyes that declared Boris was going to get Brexit done. However, what the numpty forgot to add to that train of thought was Boris was going to get Brexit done, no matter the consequences to the ordinary bloke on the street. Because just a few months later, Ian Duncan Smith then said, the issue stems from the withdrawal agreement, which he gave his backing to. Whilst the UK wants to have good trade relationship with the EU as a sovereign state, the EU has different ideas. Oh, surprise there. They want our money and now they want us to stop being a competitor. Newsflash, the UK is not a competitor to the EU. It represents this as a part of, as GDP. This. The withdrawal agreement we signed last year sadly helps them to avoid their own budget black hole. The EU gets 39 billion as a divorce payment from us. 160 billion, which is 39 billion or 160 billion? You know, I get confused. But it gets worse. He went on to say, buried in the fine print, unnoticed by many, is the fact that we remain hooked into the EU's loan book. Now, number one, there is no fine print in the withdrawal agreement. It's all the same font size, no fine print. But if he bothered his ass to read it, he'd know that. So obviously he didn't read it. But yet he claimed that they had 100 hours and they debated it till the cows came home. But he didn't read it because he'd know there's no bloody fine print in it. But what he would have found if he had bothered to read it was the experts were right. The experts that he chose to ignore were right. When he told Pascal Lamy basically on Newsnight that he didn't know what he was talking about, the head of the WTO, Pascal Lamy doesn't know what he's talking about, you know. But this brings me back to our subscriber. The subscriber had asked for some help in formulating the letter and other stuff that we sent. And as we've said in the past, we are more than willing to offer to help, especially those that are in marginal constituencies. We need to turn these lying politicians' lives upside down, just as they have turned more than 50% of those poor people, working class people in the UK. And you know why 50%? Fishing, farming, logistics, manufacturing. They're all going, supermarkets, retail, they're all going the same way. Lugano, lawyers, everything's going the same way. So we helped by editing the numpty's grandstanding video in the House of Commons. We had to get it down to the pertinent points and included a little bio of Duncan Smith and the truth about the lies he told to the Conservative Party, the lies he told to his own constituents, the lies he told to his own colleagues, which gives a real measure of the man, okay? This real measure of the man. And he was Conservative leader. This numpty claimed to have attended the university in Italy called Perugia, okay? However, the BBC discovered he didn't. He just lied and acknowledged that he attended actually a language course in a university, another university called Stranieri, Straniera, okay? But he didn't even get a diploma nor a degree because he didn't bother to sit the exams. You know, he also claimed that he received further education at Dunchurch College of Management. Now, for those of you out there who may not know, let me assure you that Dunchurch College of Management is a well-respected school of management. Very good, very, very well thought of. Now, he did go to the School of Management. That's partly true. But it's like saying, if I visit Canterbury Cathedral, it doesn't qualify me, or maybe it qualifies him, as to be an archbishop. Smith had to admit, but only after being investigated, that he attended some courses organised by his employer at the college, Marconi. Okay? In reply to his claim, John Garside, who was a former tutor there, said, I'm puzzled, flattered, but puzzled. What we did was offer a short course. It was not a continuous form of education. It wasn't a certificate. It wasn't a diploma. It wasn't a degree by any means. And the total length of all the courses he lasted, you know, the education he got at the college, 1 month. That was the total, okay? Now, Guys, what can I say after that? Thanks. That's it for today. Please keep yourself safe. Please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you on the flip side.